Little House on the Prairie was blessed with an extraordinary cast, gifted producers and directors, and a network that wholly believed in the show. But all that would have been for nothing without the talented writers who brought to the screen unforgettable stories week in and week out.
The quality of the writing of our show was really top-notch. We had some great writers, not just Mike Landon. Landon was a great writer. A lot of his scripts were so well done.
You see, God, my pa has 3 girls. Me, and Mary, and Carrie. And what he really needs is a boy. Like you had, God. So what I was wondering is, since you have a son, maybe you would like a little girl with you. You could send my brother back to Pa.
For me, as an actor, one of the big tests is if I can't remember a line, it's just because it's not well written. I have to change it and make it comfortable, make myself able to actually say the words. I never had that problem on Little House, ever.
Mrs. Olson, I can't take this from you. It was your ma's. If it was my ma's family cup, I wouldn't want to see it go to somebody else.
Where I noticed the quality of Little House, the directing and the writing and the production value, was when I grew up and then left and did other shows. And it was like, oh dear.
Despite the show's family-friendly reputation, the writers of Little House were unafraid to venture into the sort of challenging subject matter that most programs wouldn't touch.
Little House is primarily known for its sort of family values and is considered to be, soft on themes. But we tackled some really difficult and tough issues.
We covered all kinds of subjects that they weren't even covered on some of the modern 70s shows. We covered racism, we covered anti-Semitism several times, actually.
We had abduction and rape.
We had divorce.
Women's rights, civil rights.
We did things that were problems in the 1800s, but had parallels in the 1970s. We had people coming back from the war in Vietnam, many of whom were now addicted to heroin.
We had a Civil War veteran come back from the war addicted to morphine, having PTSD flashbacks. No one had done that on television in the 70s then.
In the 70s, they were talking about the Equal Rights Amendment for women, and we had the episode where it talked about property rights for women and possibly future women's rights to vote.
It was all in there, but it was told in a way that was actually much more palatable and much more touching, I think, and moved people much more than some of the ways we're doing it maybe now. And this is what was so brilliant about Michael Landon, was he was able to tell these stories still from the Little House on the Prairie point of view, but make people really stop and think.
In its run of over 200 episodes, Little House on the Prairie gave audiences plenty to think about. But certain episodes stand out as favorites.
The 2-part episode, When I Went Blind, was so well written, and so much work went into it on my part as well, on everybody's really, that will always stand out.
You can't spend the rest of your life sitting in that chair.
Why not? Why not? Why can't I just sit here? There's nothing for me to see.
I'll Be Waving As You Drive Away was ranked by TV Guide as one of the 100 greatest television episodes of all time.
Adam's going to Winoka, Dakota to open a blind school. He's asked me to come there and teach. Ma, don't cry. It's just a teacher. It's a dream I made myself again.